My name's Furness and I'm an international speaker and trainer on sales, social media, HR and recruitment. I started my life out in South Africa as a sales manager for a big insurance company, and so much of my time was spent recruiting salespeople. I did hundreds and hundreds of interviews, and really for me I think perfected the art of recruiting the right kind of people. We then moved over to London, started another firm, and again spent so much time recruiting. Once we sold that firm, I actually started up a recruitment company where I would be recruiting for the offshore financial services world. I was recruiting people into Dubai, Malaysia, Singapore, China, all over the world, and I'd be recruiting from England, Australia, South Africa, America. So I've spent a lot of time sitting in front of people and really trying to find out what it is that motivates people. How do I find that right kind of recruit? Now, I'm passionate about recruitment because I've spent so much of my life doing it and really learning all along the way. 3 years ago, we started up another financial services firm in London, and my partner and I spent the first couple of months just sitting in front of people, and again, all of those skills came back on how to recruit. Now, I know the television show's coming up, and why I think I would be good is my experience. I've sat in front of hundreds of potential people. I've made a video on job interview tactics that has had 500,000 views, where I actually sit on the other side and I help people being recruited to learn about how they can actually go through the whole process. The 4 different types of recruiters, how they've got to set themselves up, what kinds of things are going to get them the job, what kind of things are going to count against them. So for me, the reason I think I would really work for the television program is I've made hundreds and hundreds of videos. I've got 650 videos on YouTube. I've had over 4 million views. I know how to work in front of the camera, but more importantly, I know about recruitment, and I can sit and I can spot the mistakes straight away, and I can also spot some of the things that people are really doing well. I've had some funny experiences as well. I think the funniest experience was back in South Africa, where I had a top CEO that came into me and he was interviewing for a job with us. Everything went really well. In fact, the interview went on and on. It went on for too long, and when he went to leave, the building was closed. It was locked. We couldn't get out of the building, and it was crazy. We had to phone up the building manager, and he was out at dinner with his wife. He had to come and open up the building for us. It was just crazy, and well, that guy didn't end up joining us. So that's a really funny thing that happened to us. And some of the mistakes that I've found with a lot of people recruiting, first big mistake in recruitment is people spend a lot of time finding the right person. They'll spend thousands, go through lots and lots of hours, find the right person. That person then starts, and for the first couple of days they give them some training, and then nothing. And here's this poor new person that's just started, they've gone through the whole interview process, and they're saying, somebody help me. Everybody's too busy, and then the company worries, what did we do wrong? We spent all of that time and we've lost the person. Well, what are some of the mistakes that people make when interviewing recruits? We've gone through this, we've spent a lot of time on this, and we actually have 3 interviews before we recruit anyone. Our first one is a gut feel interview. Now, before we even have that interview, is we lay out the profile of exactly the kind of person that we're looking for, and we have to match that person to the profile. So we've got all of that prepared. Mistake, a lot of companies don't do that. They don't know what they're looking for, and somebody comes in and, wow, this person looks good, and they try and sell a job right up front before they even know it's the right kind of person. For us, that first one is a gut feel interview. We then have a number of personality tests. We know what we're looking for on the sales side, and we match those to personality tests. If that all works well, we have a second interview. Our second interview is really an in-depth interview where we've put together a whole booklet of questions based on our industry. Now again, we come from the sales industry, so we'd be asking them, how do you handle rejection? You've just got this big sale on a Friday, Monday they cancel. How do you handle that? How are you going to find your prospects? Tell us about how you're going to find those prospects. So that's our second interview. We try and find out everything about that person. Now the third interview, which is really important, is what we call our career presentation. And when you think about it, you've got the right kind of person on board. They're the right person, they match the profile, they're the ones we want to recruit. Problem is, they're not only looking at you, they're looking at the competition as well. So our third one is we know we've got a great person, they're looking at us, they're looking at two competitors. Our third one, we really sell that whole recruitment process. This is where you're going to go, this is where you're going to start. This is the training you're going to get, this is your management path. This is what's going to happen in the first 3 months. And a big mistake I see a lot of companies making is they don't actually tell the person what they've got to do. So the last part of the process for us is detailing that job. Okay, we're working in the City of London. This is the way that we want you to dress. You're in the office 8 o'clock in the morning, not 8:05, not 8:10. For the first 3 months, this is what's going to happen. This is how many meetings you're having. And we detail that job to them. And you know, it's funny, some of the people at the end of it say, you know what, if I wanted to join the army, I would have joined them. But everybody that joins us knows exactly what is expected of them. Now, a lot of recruiters I see, they sell the whole job way too soon. They don't tell the person what's expected of them. So here's this person that's gone through the whole recruitment process. They now start the job and they say, you didn't tell me I had to do that. You didn't tell me I had to do that. All of a sudden you've spent all of this time and you lose a great recruit just because you've missed out on some of the processes. So what makes a great recruitment consultant? Well, for me, it's somebody that's a people person, that understands people, understands their personalities, somebody that can read body language, somebody that can read personality styling of somebody, and they know and they understand the process. They've gone through it many times. And I'm fortunate, I work with a lot of recruitment consultants all around the UK. I've spoken to maybe 400 or 500 recruitment companies, and I speak to them about the whole recruitment process. I speak to them about how to use social media for recruitment, and I recognize some of the great people. I don't know what it is, there's just an X factor, and they get in there and you can see they're successful, and you know why they're successful, because right up front they know what they're looking for. And you know, the other thing that I like about great recruitment consultants is they know when to finish an interview. If it's not the right kind of person, within 10 minutes they say, listen, thanks so much for coming in. We know what we're looking for. You don't fit that profile. I hate it when I see somebody coming in and within 10 minutes they know it's the wrong person, but they'll still spend an hour wasting their time and wasting the recruit's time, the potential person that's going to start working there, another hour. Why waste it? So great recruitment consultants know when and how to close the sale, but also know when to finish the interview. So why should you hire me? Well, I work all over the world with recruitment consultants. I do it almost on a daily basis. I've made videos about it. I'm okay on television. Why? I've got my own green screen studio. This is where I'm working in my garage in Orlando at the moment, the green screen behind me over here. And I love being in front of the camera. So for me, that's the first step. I know how to work in front of the camera. I also know the recruitment process, and very quickly I can identify what people are doing well, what they're doing wrong. So for me, I'd love to be on your program. I've been on quite a few other TV programs. I think this one would be right up my street, right up your street as well. Hey, this is Furness. Let's hope it all works out.